Right. So it's the day third of 4 questions a day quant part, where we are just revising cat 19 paper, and today again we'll work on quant. So again I have picked 4 questions. Let's see. So today basically the questions would be of an easier format. Like in the previous one we had some tricks and all, but it's not necessary that every time the questions will be based on some tricks. It's more of identification. So let's try to check. If 5.55 raised to x is equal to 0.555 raised to y is equal to 1000, what's the value of 1 by x minus 1 by y? Important part here we need to keep in mind is this thing, and x and y are nothing but the index values here, or else exponents here. So whenever we are dealing with these kind of things, I know whenever we deal with the exponents, we either multiply the things or else we divide the things. So basic things which you need to keep in mind are the basic variations like a raised to m by a raised to n is always a raised to m plus n, or else sorry m minus n. Same way a raised to m into a raised to n is always a raised to m plus n. Here I'm using minus sign, so possibly I'm dealing with a division. So that's the first thing which you have to identify. So let's see whether we can work on in this or not. So let's talk about these values. It's 5.55 raised to x is equal to 1000. I am interested in 1 by x, so I can say 5.55 should be equal to 1000 raised to 1 by x. That's the first one. Similarly, second one is about 0.555 raised to y is equal to 1000. That also represents 0.555 is equal to 1000 raised to 1 by y. That's the second one. Right, so these two are the equations we are having. Now I want 1 by x minus 1 by y. That means I have to divide these two. If we'll divide these two, I can get the relation as 5.55 divided by 0.555 is equal to 1000 raised to 1 by x minus 1 by y. That is my requirement here, and this value is equal to how much? This value is equal to 10. So I can say 10, which is equal to 1000 raised to 1 by x minus 1 by y, and I want to write 10 in terms of 1000, which can be written as 1000 raised to 1 by 3 should be equal to 1000 raised to 1 by x minus 1 by y. That represents 1 by x minus 1 by y should be equal to 1 by 3. Right, so my value should be nothing but 1 by 3. Right, next one is a Venn diagram format. So a club has 560 members, of whom 144 can play football, not football alone, 123 can play tennis, 132 can play cricket. Moreover, 58 members can play both football and tennis, not football and tennis alone. Remember, 25 can play both cricket and tennis, again not cricket and tennis alone, while 63 can play both football and cricket, not for both football and cricket alone. And it's already given if every member can play at least one game. That means there is no one who plays none of the given games. So this is the basic information available. If these are the things available, we can identify something. It's a case of Venn diagram. So let's plot a basic Venn diagram here. So let's consider 256 people are there, where football, it's given 144 people play football, not football alone. Then tennis is 123, and then cricket is nothing but 132. Moreover, 58 members can play both football and tennis. So not football and tennis alone, right? So remember this complete portion. This complete portion should be equal to 58. Similarly, 28 can play both cricket and tennis. So this part is nothing but 25. And it's given 63 can play both football and cricket. Football, sorry, this part is 63 and they're talking about this part, cricket and tennis, is nothing but 25, right? So these are the figures available. Then the number of members who can play only tennis, so tennis alone they're talking about. So tennis alone is nothing but this part. My requirement is to find out this. So what's my condition? If I'll be able to find out this part, that represents I can find out this and this, so I can find out this. So my major requirement is to work on the intersection part. So let's try to find out the intersection, and it's given union is nothing but 256, right? So now according to this, the basic formula we know is nothing but A union B union C should be equal to A plus B plus C minus A intersection B minus B intersection C minus C intersection A plus A intersection B intersection C. I have to utilize this formula here. So 256 should be equal to 144 plus 123 plus 132 minus 58 minus 25 minus 63 plus the intersection part, A intersection B intersection C here. So let's try to solve this one. Right. So if you'll solve this figure, you'll be able to find out that A intersection B intersection C will be nothing but 3, right? So that represent this part is 3. If this part is 3, that means this part is nothing but 55 here. This part is nothing but 22. Out of 123, I have already utilized 58 plus 22, right? So we have already utilized 80, so it's basically 123 minus 80, which is supposed to be nothing but 43. My value will be nothing but 43 here. So this was again a very easy question. So sometimes they ask questions which will be directly formula based, where we'll have to identify the formulas. Now theta question, it's more of coordinate geometry, or else we can say it seems to be coordinate geometry, but it's more of geometry. So let T be the triangle formed by the straight line 3x plus 5y minus 45 is equal to 0. It's a straight line and the coordinate axes. Let the circumcircle of T have radius of length L, measure in the same unit as the coordinate axis, then the integer closest to L is. So first thing is we have to draw a graph. Let's identify. So let's say if I have a graph available here, so I'll try to draw a line here. It's given 3x plus 5y is equal to 45. If I'll keep x value as 0, then I can say the value of y is nothing but 9. That's my first coordinate here. I could have taken the value somewhere, let's say here 0.9, right? Then if I'll keep y value as 0, right, so this will be 15. So let's take 15 comma 0 for the time being, and I'll draw a line here which could satisfy the condition. So I have a line available, right? So this is my relation. In other sense, I can say this is 9 and this is 15, and this part works as a hypotenuse. Let's say this is point A, this is B, and this is C. So AC works as an hypotenuse. The length of AC will be nothing but AC, in this case I'm going to 9 square plus 15 square root of this. So this is not the Pythagorean triplet, right? So if it is a Pythagorean triplet, your answer should be an integer, but since it's not a Pythagorean triplet, that's why they have used the term integer closest to L. So let's try to find out 81 plus 225 square root, right? So it's how much? Square root is nothing but 306. I want square root of 306, which lies between 17 and 18, right? So that means this one is between 17 and 18, and let the circumcircle of T have radius of length L. So if I draw a circumcircle here, as it's a right angle triangle, that means this hypotenuse will work as the diameter here. I want half of the diameter as the radius, so I'll take half of 18, nothing but 9, as they're talking about the nearest integral value here. As 17, if we'll take 17 by 2 is nothing but 8.5. So I want the nearest value, which is nothing but 9 here. My value is supposed to be nothing but 9. Next one. A person invested a total amount of rupees 15 lakhs, a part of which is invested in a fixed deposit earning 6% annual interest. If nothing is given, that means it's basically simple interest, and the remaining amount was invested in 2 other deposits in the ratio of 2:1. So let's say I have 3 deposits here, first, second and third, and this is in the ratio of 2:1, and earning is in the ratio of 4:3. Sorry, 4% and 3% here, and this is nothing but 6%. These 3 are the figures given. Now the total interest income is rupees 76,000. So 76,000, let's find out 76,000 is how much percent of 15 lakh, right? So 76,000 by 15 lakh, right, into 100, let's consider that's approximately 5.066%. Because the overall average for these is nothing but 5.066%. So it's clear case of allegation. We can always apply allegation here. So let's start allegations from 2 and 3, as we know that they are in the ratio of 2:1, right? So here 2 and 3, then the ratio of 2:1 with 4% here and 3% here. I want a figure here in such a format so that this difference should be in the ratio of 2:1. So this gap is 1, and I'm supposed to divide this in 2 parts in the ratio of 2:1. That means it will be nothing but 0.66 on this side, and this is 0.33 on this side. I'm adding 0.66 to 3, that means this figure is supposed to be 3.66%. In terms of fraction, 3.66 is nothing but 3:2 by 3, or else 11 by 3%. Let's write this one in terms of 11 by 3%, so that it will be easy for us to work on. And 5.066 can be written in terms of 5 is to 2 by 30, which is nothing but 152 by 30. So I can also write this figure as 110 by 30 because I'm keeping the values in terms of 30s only, right? So now I'll apply allegation on this part. First one and this combined, second and third combined here. So according to this is 110 by 30. This figure is 152 by 30. 6% could have been written as 180 by 30. So let's remove 30 for the time being. This difference is 42 and this difference is how much? 48. Not 48, it's 28. Right, that means it's further in the ratio of 4:6 or else, sorry, 6:4 or else 2:2, not 2:3, 3:2. So one and the other combined is in the ratio of 3:2. In that case, if we'll check, if this complete is 3, I can take this part, right? So now let's try to check what is my requirement here. So I can say 1 and 2 plus 3 is in the ratio of 3:2, which is equal to x by 3. That represents this almost 4.5, right? So I'll further change the values. Instead of 4.5, let's double the value. Here it's nothing but 9, this is 4 and this is 2. My summation figure is 15, which is our number. That means the value is supposed to be 9 lakhs here, right? My answer will be 9 lakh. So with allegation it is easy for us to work on these kind of questions. So that is the discussion for today. Thank you.